Hey everybody, Doug8798 here, back for another review, and this time this is my webcam review of the 2011 film Green Lantern. I love this movie. This movie was one of the best movies I've seen, and it was, in my opinion, one of the best movies of 2011, and this movie totally, and I mean totally, exceeded my expectations for what I expected of this movie. When I saw trailers for this movie, I think it was late 2010, early 2011. I thought this movie was gonna suck. I thought this movie was gonna suck. Especially, I thought this movie was gonna suck. When I heard Ryan Reynolds was gonna be playing Green Lantern, um, back in um, back in 2009, I didn't think it was gonna be good. But because it was Green Lantern, I always wanted the Green Lantern to have his own movie, his own television series, and everything. Green Lantern's an awesome underrated comic book series. It's in my opinion one of the best comic book series DC has ever produced. And the Green Lantern, just so many awesome stories to tell, and just an awesome comic. So I supported this anyway, even though I thought Ryan Reynolds was gonna suck as the Green Lantern. Then finally in early 2011, I saw those trailers. The first trailer I saw was absolutely terrible. All it showed was comedy moments with Ryan Reynolds, and then a tiny bit of Green Lantern. It didn't even look like a move. It didn't even look like a Hollywood film. It looked like some fan project, or some thing, or some kind of film video editing project where you take several trailers or scenes from different movies and splash them together to make one full trailer, like they used to do with the Dragon Ball Z live action fan trailers before the real one, DB Evolution, came out. But that's what that looked like. That's what it looked like. The first trailer was absolutely garbage. The second trailer was a lot better. It showed more Green Lantern scenes and was much more serious, and at least made the film. It's okay. It's watchable. It's watchable. It looks good at least to go watch. And man, from beginning to end, this film was awesome. It totally blew me away. Ryan Reynolds was awesome as Green Lantern. Like I said, I thought he was gonna be miscast. Ryan Reynolds portrayed an awesome Hal Jordan. His Hal Jordan was he portrayed an awesome Hal Jordan. He was reckless, irresponsible, cocky, but well-meaning protagonist, and a true hero. What superheroes should be. Not all this badassery and emo crap they try to pass off as a lot of superheroes of today. This is what a superhero should be. I thought Ryan Reynolds was gonna be just a Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark wannabe, because Robert Downey Jr. with the blockbuster Iron Man, he pretty much set the standards for what superhero movies should be right now. Reset the standards, and everyone is trying to some ways emulate him. Ryan Reynolds did that, but he made it his own. And of course, I didn't think this film was going to also be good, because, well, in this film, this is an origin film. It's mostly focused on Hal Jordan becoming the Green Lantern, and of course, the bad guys are Hector Hammond and Parallaxes. Sinestro, one of my favorite bad guys from the Green Lantern series, is still a good guy in this one. So you're not gonna see all the awesome fight scenes, but the action sequences were awesome. The opening scene with Abin Sur fighting off Parallaxes was awesome. Then of course the scene in the parking lot where the guys attack Hal Jordan, and then out of nowhere, how he gets the Rainworks and hits a giant fist, takes all of them out with a giant fist. Then of course the last two fight scenes, the fight scene with Hector Hammond, out of nowhere, just like in the comics, he constructs whatever he hit. He constructs a gun. Then he hits Hector Hammond with an awesome drop kick. Hector Hammond hits him with several telekinetic moves. It was awesome. Awesome CGI fighting, and then of course the final battle with Parallaxes. Parallaxes once again, all this comic book stuff. Him hitting him with guns. One cool scene was when he constructed a machine gun. It was just firing and firing, just like the comic books. It was awesome. A comic book come to life. That's what this film was. And that's what these superhero movies today should be. Should be awesome. Just an awesome film. All the performances was good. Not only was Ryan Reynolds good, Mark Strong was an awesome Sinestro. I keep forgetting the actor's name who portrayed Abin Sur, but for this short time he was on screen, he was awesome. Peter Sagar, he was awesome as Hector Hammond. I loved Hector Hammond's character in this film. I didn't care much for Hector Hammond in the comics, but I love what they did him as this depressed, miserable professor who is jealous and wants to be like Hal Jordan. I loved his character in this film. Then Parallaxes. I didn't think Parallaxes would be all that good, but they made Parallaxes awesome in this film. Clancy Brown, who is an awesome voice actor and an actor, in my opinion, awesome for playing bad guys, was an awesome. He was intimidating as Parallaxes, and Parallaxes was even scarier in this film, sucking the life out of people just like the Mummy from the Mummy films. But yeah, this was awesome. Blake Lively was awesome as Pharaoh. All the performances were great. And speaking of performances, going to the CGI was awesome. Looks just like a comic book come to life. It looked just like a comic book come to life. When the scene where Hal Jordan takes the ring, where finally gets the ring to work and goes to the planet Oa, the background sets of Oa look awesome. All the alien creatures CGI look awesome, and that's another thing. The CGI was lifelike. Toma Ray and what's the other, Kilowog. I thought Toma Ray was an actor, and I thought that was Michael Clark Duncan in a costume. No, Michael Clark Duncan was just a voice. That's how lifelike Kilowog actually looked. This was the what you calls were lifelike, and then just this film was just awesome. I really hope Warner Brothers makes a sequel. It says they're still trying to pursue a sequel. In my opinion, there needs to be a sequel to this film. They do not need to try a reboot. The only thing good that will come from a reboot is that it has a chance of going almost 100% closer to comic books. This was closer to comic books, but changed a couple of things, such as bringing Parallaxes, one of the last villains Hal Jordan faces, as the first villain, but it worked for the plot of this film. Yeah, going back to reboots. Reboots are never good. In my opinion, the only two films that actually do reboots right were Captain America and Dread. Both of those movies were in some ways improvements over their previous 90s predecessors. Those are only reboots that did right. No, in my opinion, no reboot has ever really been good. And this film was awesome. The plot of this film is that the Guardians built a universe and sent rings to several sectors to people whom are worthy. One of the Guardians had the intention of controlling fear, but ended up being consumed by it, and became the very entity known as Parallaxes. In the present day, Parallaxes attacks Abin Sur and wounds him. Abin Sur goes to Earth. He dies, and then he passes his ring and stuff to Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan is unsure of what he has, and it turns out the Guardians think the ring has made a mistake. The Guardians ring has made a mistake, but as I said earlier, as the film goes along, it shows that Hal Jordan's humanity, which people thought would be his greatest weakness, turned out to be his greatest strength, as he stood up to and defeated Parallaxes. Then of course we're introduced to Hal Jordan, who's a cocky ace pilot, a cocky, irresponsible, reckless ace pilot. Just an awesome film, man. Just an awesome film, and I hope they make a sequel. Also, the musical score. Yeah, I forgot about that. The music score. I love the musical score. It reminds me of Dragon Ball Evolution, Brian Tyler's score, and it reminds me of Star Wars. The chase scenes and fight sequences. It reminds me of Duel of Fates in Star Wars. But yeah, just an awesome film, man. One of the best films ever. I hate the negative reception this film got when it released, and I still can't stand all the fanboys who bashed this film today. I'm going to talk about them in another video, but right now this was just my review of the Green Lantern film. I seriously hope they make a sequel because, like I said, this film was just awesome. I can't think of not one problem with it other than that it did not follow the comics, but most films don't follow the comics, and as much as I love source material, it's irrelevant when it comes to making movies. All right, Doug 8798 out.